In this rebuild, I am going to rebuild one of the biggest clubs in Italy. They have been known for having some unbelievable legends in the past, with players like Zinedine Zidane, Alessandro Del Piero, Edgar Davids, Edwin van der Sar, and the list just really goes on and on and on. More recently, they've had world-class ballers like Bonucci, Chiellini, and CR7 himself. Yes, you've heard it right. In this rebuild, I'm going to rebuild the old lady that is Juventus. Now, there is going to be one stipulation for this rebuild and one stipulation alone. I can only use Italian players over the past 5 years of this rebuild. So, I can only sign Italian players for the Juventus squad, with ultimately having the goal of being a full Italian side winning Serie A and the Champions League. Any bids that come in for any players who are not Italian, I have to accept them straight away, whatever the bid may be. So if someone bids 1 million for Dusan Vlahovic, he has to go. So that is a stipulation. Be warned, this is going to be one of the craziest rebuilds you'll ever see in Football Manager. Here we go. Juve hire Heim to take them forward, with the stipulation of only being able to sign Italian players for the squad. And if you've made it this far into this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It means an awful lot to me. If we can just get a few of you that are watching these videos to subscribe, it would change the trajectory of my channel and my life, to be perfectly honest. Juventus are predicted to finish second in the first season. Their squad is looking very good. It is a 5 at the back tactic they want you to play, with Timothy Weah playing wing-back is wild. We will go through the squad, but Chiesa and Vlahovic up front looked strong for the first few seasons. And you've got Cambiasso and Chiesa, those Italians, with Locatelli in there as well. This could provide some good Italians for the start of this save. We've got signed players from domestic rivals. Well, that's exactly what we'll be doing with those Italian players. Grow the club's reputation, increase their revenue. We've got to qualify for the Champions League, win a domestic cup and challenge for the Italian Cup, win Serie A by the end of the 24-25 season. Then our contract expires. We will have to win Serie A within the first 2 seasons to stay here. This is great from the director of football. He wants us to sign some big ballers. Before we take a look at the squad in this save, it's always prudent to take a look at the financial situation we inherit at the football club. £58 million worth of balance is fairly good for a Serie A side. We don't have any European football this season due to a scandal in real life. In terms of the debts and the loan, it is £87 million net debt and £87 million worth of transfer debt. There is a lot of debt to be repaid off. £274 million of MISC debt as well. £1.3 million payable per month. So that 56 million is going to go very fast. We're going to have to sell our top talents. We are going to have to get rid of them quickly, and we're going to have to replace them with cheaper Italian alternatives. This is going to be a very challenging save with Juventus. Now let's take a look at how the squad is currently set up. The squad to kick off this save is very good, as you would expect from a Juventus side. It does need a lot of rebuilding though, because we've got old players like Wojciech Szczesny in goal. It isn't ideal, but he is going to be our best goalkeeper behind Mattia Perran, who will provide good cover for him, to be honest. Got 2 caps for the Italian national side. Is a decent Italian goalkeeper at this point as well. Other Italians that we can use in this save are Federico Gatti. He has got so much talent, and one of Juventus' best centre-backs, will be an absolute key member in this Italian rebuild going forward. Andrea Cambiasso is a player that no one really speaks about too much, but I've had this guy on a few saves. This guy is absolutely cracked. One of the best left-backs on the game, in my humble opinion. Manuel Locatelli in the midfield has always been a world-class holding midfield player. He will provide some great talent for its Italian version of the Juventus side. But players who are not Italian, who will be key in the first season for us to actually do something, will be players like Filip Kostic. He will provide those crosses for the main man, Dusan Vlahovic. He will be absolutely key scoring goals for us. Obviously, we will have to sell him at some point if someone puts a bid in for any of these players who are not Italian, as mentioned at the start of the video. A player I'm very excited to use that I haven't used before is Kenan Yildiz. He's coming through the FC Bayern Munich Academy and has moved to Juventus on a free transfer. Again, another player that we will have to sell, but I'm very keen for him to see how he develops. Samuel Illing Jr. as well is another player that I really like and really looking forward to using in this save. The squad is ready. But how are their tactics looking? We will be kicking this off with a custom-made 5-2-3 with 2 holding midfield players, 2 wing-backs, 3 centre-backs, a sweeper keeper on support. The sweeper keeper on support has tackle harder and take more risks. The ball-playing centre-backs and the centre-back, I've just added tackle harder to those and kept the preset instructions. The wing-backs dribble more, tackle harder on both sides. Ball winning midfield player has just the standard instructions on there. The secundo volante has take more risks and tackle harder. Inverted winger on tackle harder and dribble more. Tackle harder again for the inverted forward on the right hand side as well. Tackle harder for the the complete forward up front, and that will be Dusan Vlahovic to kick it off. He's going to score a lot of goals. It is an intense tactic because I've gone for a balanced approach. I think balance on FM24 this year has been absolutely cracked. We've got standard attacking width, got play out defense, short passing, higher tempo, work the ball into the box and run a defense for the in possession. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly and take short kicks, distributing it to the centre-backs. Out of possession, we have prevent short goalkeeper distribution, trigger press much more often and get stuck in. I like a physical tactic. I want our boys to get stuck in, bully teams, win the ball back and go again. That's what I'm aiming for in this Juventus save. I've also added in my patented grumble door formation for a backup tactic. But the main tactic I will be using will be this 5-2-3, and I will link it and upload this to my YouTube channel as well, so you can go and see how we got on with other teams with this tactic and with this Juventus side, and download it and use it in your saves if you very well wish to. Now, there is no transfer budget in the first transfer window, so we're going to simulate the rest of this season, see how we got on in the first season in charge of the mighty Juventus. We had an amazing season in our first season with Juventus, winning the Scudetto by 2 points above AC Milan, who were favourites to win the title this season. We also picked up the Italian Cup as well. Some great achievements there in our very first season in charge of the football club. In terms of the transfers that we brought in this window, we did bring in a couple of them. It was Wilfred Gnonto came in from Leeds. He's going to be a big player in this rebuild for us. I've had him at many clubs before. He is a very good baller. He's only scored 2 goals in the Italian Serie A for us this season, but he will be a first team baller in the future. Michael Coyote is the best Italian right back on the game and potentially one of the best right backs on the game. We brought him in from Fiorentina. We needed a new right back, and this guy is absolutely cracked. Already playing for Italy, he's going to be the mainstay at right back for us. In terms of the outs, we did lose a big player. We did lose Federico Chiesa, our best Italian player, wanted to go to Manchester City. £70 million, we had to accept it. He wanted to go. I didn't want to sell him. But that is what happens in these type of rebuilds. Now, in terms of the squad, the key men for us this season were Federico Gatti, a very good Italian centre-back. Him and Bremer's partnership this season was what led us to the title. Other players that I've loved this season is Arkadiusz Milik. Now, Milik, you wouldn't expect. I mean, he will go at some point in his life because he's not Italian, but he scored a grand total of 21 goals in Serie A, living up to his potential. What a player he was for us in the season. His partnership with Vlahovic was absolutely class. Another player who was good for us was Manuel Locatelli. Played pretty much every single game for the football club. Doesn't really score or assist, but he's a mainstay in the squad because he's an absolute baller. If we take a look at our schedule for the season, you'll see a lot of great results as we progressed. Remaining unbeaten for a long time until we came up against Atalanta that absolutely thumped us in January. Defeats against Udinese and Napoli were not very good. Inter smashed us away from home, but in the end we had enough to pick up Serie A and we won the Italian Cup final on penalties. So really lucky victory there. Let's move on to Season 2, make those transfers and bring in some top Italian ballers. It was a busy summer of transfers here at Juventus, bringing in some top quality Italian players and pretty much raiding Atalanta's squad. I was very impressed with the way that they beat us, so I wanted to go and raid their players. We raided their goalkeeper. Marco comes in to be our #1 keeper. He's an absolute beast, one of the best Italian goalkeepers on the game, and we're going from absolute steal of £15 million. Another Italian striker I'm hoping can smash goals in for us this season is Gianluca Scamacca. He was at West Ham previously, but is now at Juventus. He brings that Italian top quality striker. Think Luca Vialli, think Fabrizio Ravanelli. Scamacca is the next one of those for me. Now, that's a big shout. Caleb Okoli comes in at centre-back. We needed another centre-half, and he is the third choice this season, but will be an absolute beast for us through this rebuild. Some great stats, and Atalanta losing a lot of ballers there. One player we did need to bring in to replace Federico Chiesa was Nicolo Zaniolo. He is an animal. He's been out in Turkey playing for Aston Villa in the Premier League as well, but we spent the £30 million on him. He is the best player that we could get out on left wing and will provide some great assists and great goals if only he can live up to the potential that he's had. In terms of the outs, there was a lot of outs. We got rid of a lot of players. Danilo went to Al Ittihad. Thank you for the Middle East for picking up our absolute cruddy ballers and getting rid of them for big, big money. Szczesny again went to the Middle East, hence why we brought Marco into play. He wanted to go. He's got out there earning decent money. He's a very decent goalkeeper. Did well for us, but thank you and goodbye to him. Thiago João goes as well. We didn't need him. Portuguese player, not going to play for us in this Italian rebuild. Now, in terms of the squad, we've still got a very good squad, I have to say. Perrin, Konechki in goal, Rugani, Okoli, Gatti, Coyote, Di Scaligio. Andrea Cambiasso is a player that has really developed over the summer, and I'm sure will become a key man in this squad. He was last season, but throughout this rebuild, if we can keep Cambiasso, I feel like we could achieve some absolute brilliant things. Other players that we've kept this season have been Surler. He looks absolutely cracked. He's not Italian, so if someone does come in for him, he will go, but fairly decent off the bench for us as we build towards using a whole Italian 11. Obviously, we've kept Milic, Flyovic, and Scamacca will be our choices with Nonto as well. Moise Keane might play for us, might not. He is Italian, so I will give him minutes as much as I can. In terms of the competitions we're in this season, we're in Serie A, we're in the Champions League, we're in the Italian Cup and the Italian Super Cup. A chance to do a quadruple in only our second season. Is that possible? Let's find out. Let's simulate the rest of this season. If you've made it this far into this video, you must drop a subscribe and a like on this video. And if you want more rebuilds, comment below which team you want next, and I'll do a 5-season rebuild with them. Before I show you the rest of the season, we had a chance to win the Champions League and we played Manchester City in the final, beating them by 1-0, and it's a Locatelli banger to secure our very first Champions League with Juventus. What a season it was with Juventus. We did the quadruple at the first time of asking. Scamacca got 7 goals in the Champions League for us. We won Serie A, the Champions League, the Italian Cup and the Super Cup. But Serie A was so impressive. We did it in an unbeaten season as well. Only drawing 9 games, winning 29. Absolutely smashing it this season. One of the best seasons I've ever had in Football Manager. Now, we didn't add any other transfers to the team this season. As you can see here, we did get rid of Kaio Horg. He wanted to go. Someone bidded for him, so he left, as that was the terms of this rebuild. Now, looking at the schedule, as you can see, you'll see the 1-0 Champions League win there. But what you will see is a whole lot of greens. We didn't start the Champions League very well. 2 back-to-back defeats against Atletico Madrid and AS Roma looked to us teetering to going out of the competition, but we brought it back, winning the Super Cup against Roma on penalties. You'll notice that penalties is a bit of a theme for us in competitions at this moment in time. Some unbelievable results as we progress. We beat the overpowered Ninja Turtle FC in the quarterfinal and smashed Real Madrid 6-1 at home, but lost 7-4 away from home. So a basketball game at the Bernabeu, but it was meant to be. We went to win 1-0 against Manchester City in the Champions League. What a result that was. Now, the squad this season has been unbelievable. Some of the players here that have played every single game for us include Marco, the goalkeeper, improving all the time. Still hasn't got an Italian cap, and I feel like he should be Italy's #1 after the season that we have just had. Daniel Rugani, a player I didn't think would get minutes, has stepped up this season and played a lot. He has been crucial when we've had injuries to the back line, keeping players like Caleb Okoli out of the team so much we had to send him out on loan. But where it gets really important is the development of players like Skurmaka. He got so many goals this season in his debut season for Juventus. He won everything at this football club. His Italian's number 9 hasn't scored a goal for them yet, which is unbelievable, but he has scored so many important goals for us in this second season. Nonto providing more goals and more assists this season than he did in the previous. He's developing all the time. He's going to become a key man, either he plays left wing, cam or striker. This guy has been unreal. The third season we're in all competitions plus the UEFA Super Cup. Can we go and have another unbelievable season, or will this be the best season we have in this rebuild? Start of the third season, a slightly more realistic summer for Juventus. We brought in Giorgio Scalvini, raiding Atalanta again for their best players. This guy is the best centre-back on Football Manager. He is Italian, so we get to sign him in this rebuild, and I'm sure this guy is going to turn into an Alexandro Nesta, a Paolo Maldini, a Fabio Cannavaro. This guy is absolutely cracked. Eduardo Bove starts off at Roma, went to Chelsea, didn't really do that much there, so we decided to poach him. We needed a holding midfield player, and he was the best option we could get. This guy's going to be cracked for us. He's got some absolutely cracking attributes. Now, that was made possible by the sale of Adrian Rabiot to Al Hilal. Again, thank you, Middle East, for buying all my sweaty ballers. They bidded 66 million, and we thought, yep, goodbye, thank you very much. Earning 800k a week there is insane. Ravella went out to Lazio. We couldn't get him in the team. He was quality. He wanted to go. He's gone to Lazio, and it's a shame. I think he's a bit of a big loss as well. We also sold Luca Pellegrini to Lazio as well. Would have been a squad player for us, but is a very good player for Lazio at this stage of the game. Now, in terms of the competitions that we are in, like I mentioned, we are in all 4 competitions, plus the UEFA Super Cup this season, where we play my team, the mighty Tottenham Hotspur. But I'm sure we can progress past them, beat them, and win maybe some more trophies. I think Serie A is possible, an Italian Cup and the UEFA Super Cup should be doable. But another Champions League, I mean, back-to-back Champions Leagues in just 3 seasons. What an achievement that would be for this football club. Hold the press. We had a chance to win back-to-back Champions Leagues, and we came up against a strong Chelsea side, and Florian Wirtz in the first 10 minutes sunk Juventus' hearts, and they were not to be denied on this occasion. 50 minutes in, they were going to go 2-0 up. Enzo Fernandez pulling strings in the midfield, and Caicedo in acres just heads it past the goalkeeper, and we were in all sorts of issues here. Masule with a free kick brings us back into the game. Sanchez probably should have done better with that, but it was 2-1. The Juve fans would not care. Coyote marauding. Locatelli linking up with Parese at the back, who was a new signing. He finessed it past Sanchez to bring it back to 2-2, taking the tie to extra time as Miretti came on. 117 minutes. Zaniolo brought down by James. Referee plays on Vlahovic in, and then Chilwell scores an own goal, and it was 3-2 on the night. We did the unbelievable. We won every single trophy we were in. That 10th Champions League final was an unbelievable game, beating a very strong Chelsea side 3-2. Tottenham were no match for us in the Super Cup, beating them 2-0, winning the Italian Cup and winning Serie A with over 100 points as well. The third season was just as good as the previous. What a season it had been. Taking a look at our schedule, you'll see we won the Super Cup on the opening day of the season. Again, we started the Champions League badly, losing to eventual finalists and runners-up Chelsea 4-1, losing to Bologna away, losing to Rennes in the Champions League, and only managing a draw against Leipzig. At this point, the board was not happy with us, I can tell you. They thought we were going out, but we managed to pull it round and run on an amazing run of form, winning the Super Cup on penalties yet again. Penalties, a big thing for us in this rebuild. We did lose to Inter in the semi-final of the Italian Cup, but we managed to come back and win that competition anyway, beating us weak Sassuolo side 7-2. Losing to Empoli and drawing to Lazio was not the perfect build-up for a Champions League final, let me tell you, but we did win that game, as you have seen. Some players that came in that did absolute bits for us. Fabian Paresi, what a player this guy is. One of the best left backs on the game. He plays backup for Cambiasso, but he's more than that. He is a cult legend at this football club, scoring in the Champions League final. You cannot go wrong with any of that. What a player he's been for us. Another player that came in the January window as well for big money is Simone Pafundi, one of the best Italian wonder kids on the game. We managed to secure his signature from Udinese. What a player this young man is. What a baller it was, and what a season we had. An unbelievable season with the likes of Juventus. Another Champions League. The fourth season is going to be unforgettable as well. We're on a magical run with this side. The fourth season was upon us, and we're in all competitions again with another Super Cup, another chance to win another trophy against FC Porto. I expect to win all the trophies. Probably not the Champions League again. I mean, 3 Champions Leagues back to back. It's just not. It's probably not feasible, but we'll give it our best shot. The transfers this summer have been absolutely cooking. We needed a sub-goalkeeper. We brought in Michele Di Greggio. He's going to sit on the bench behind Marco, but another good young Italian goalkeeper, I would say. Young at the age of 29, yes, because he's a goalkeeper. Riccardo Cagliafori comes in at centre-back. He can play left or centre-back. This guy is a cracked Italian, only 24 years of age, got a big future ahead of him. And he had to come in because we sold Bremer. He wanted to go to the Middle East. He's on 775 grand a week. He was an absolute key player for us in the first 3 seasons, but not being Italian, he had to leave the football club if someone bidded. They bidded. He went. I mean, 72 million to rise to 87. I would take that all day, every day. Samuel Illing as well. Atalanta trying to replace the ballers that we steal from them. They took him on loan and probably will make it permanent in the summer. The squad is looking unbelievable for this season. Some big players in there. Zaniolo's had an early injury. Pafundi looks to cook again. So does Nonto. How will we get on in this season? Don't forget to comment your thoughts before you see the result. The fourth season was another incredible season in Serie A. We had got another 100 points, 93 plus goal difference, only losing 2 games this season. Vlahovic had an absolute cracker. Yes, I know he's not Italian and we are trying to get him out of the football club, but clearly there's no interest in him, which is absolute madness. Marco top clean sheets in the league as well, with Cambiasso on the assists in second place. Same as Çalhanoğlu is absolutely cracking. Now, the squad this season, we have a chance to make a history here and make 3 Champions Leagues in a row. Can we do the impossible? We face a very strong Liverpool side in the final. Liverpool were simply no match for us in this final as we pick up 3 Champions Leagues in a row, equaling that mad Real Madrid side under Zidane. Nonto kicked off the scoring with a brilliant ball from Andrea Cambiasso. Cambiasso is that guy. Zaniolo doing skills and elbowing a player in the face to maraud down the left-hand side, whipped in across, and he found the head of Vlahovic to make it 2-0. It was looking like game over at this point. 33rd minute, we went 3-0 up. Michael Coyote into Pafundi. The link up these 2 boys have is incredible. Nonto taps in his second, and that was game, set, and match. 3-0 up in a Champions League final. Liverpool looked like they was going to come back and do a Istanbul as Luis Diaz marauded down the left, found Darwin Núñez, who just passed it past Marco Konechki in goal. And it was looking like they could make a comeback at this point, but the 70th minute really killed off the game. That man, Cambiasso, the modern-day Maldini, found Pafundi. Vlahovic was in behind again, and he was never missing from there. What a game. And that meant we won all of the competitions we were in this season again for the 3rd time in a row. Serie A, Champions League, UEFA Super Cup, absolutely humbling Porto, the Italian Cup, and the Italian Super Cup. Now, looking at the schedule, you will see that we had some unbelievable form this season. Again, we didn't start off well in the Champions League. We had Rangers and Benfica, away draw against Benfica, then losing to Milan in the Champions League. We needed some big results. We got one against Olympiacos, but Leverkusen and Madrid absolutely humbled us. It was at this stage I thought we may not even make it through the group stage, but we came back with some inspiring form with a good draw away at Newcastle and a win against Monaco to secure a next round result against Copenhagen, and they were simply no match for us. A disappointing draw away from home in that game, which was not very good. But as we progress through the season, a couple of silly defeats, as you will see here. Chelsea in the Champions League semi-final, we beat them and then humbled Inter in the Italian Cup final 4-1, and Liverpool in the Champions League final 4-1, making a very good season. The squad this season was very, very good. As you would have seen, Caliafori came in and made a lot of difference at the back. Started 24 games in the league and coming off the bench 11 times. He's making big improvements to our defence. But where it was got really cooking was Pafundi. My guy Simone Pafundi is the next Alessandro Del Piero. You heard it here first. This guy is absolutely cracked. Him, Scamacca, even Kenan Yildiz this season was very, very good. One player we did bring in the January window because we had some funds and we needed a striker was Giacomo Raspadori. This guy is absolutely cracked. 7 goals in 25 games for us. Isn't the game goal results that you would want from him. He's getting used to the team here. It was big in the Champions League. Almost 1 in 2 in the UEFA Champions League. We've put in together an unbelievable squad full of Italian talent. We come now into our 5th and final season. A relatively quiet summer transfer window with only one big signing to add to the team, and that was probably the best Italian player on the game in Sandro Tonali. He is absolutely class. The next Andrea Pirlo, if you ask me. What a baller he is. We paid a lot of money, 114 million, but we did get a tycoon takeover in this window, so obviously that has helped with the funds there. Now, looking at the squad for this season, we've got a very good squad. As you can see, Tonali's been added to the likes of Paresi, Cambiaso, Scalvini, Coyote, Caliafori, Gatti, Zaniolo, Raspadori, Nonto, Scamacca, and we are trying to get rid of the main man, Dusan Vlahovic. I do want a team where it's all Italians in the squad, and I'm really trying, but no one wants to take Vlahovic. Even at a cut price of £50 million, no one wants him. It's unbelievable. This guy is one of Europe's best strikers and has won a lot of competitions with us and scored a lot of goals as well. So not quite sure what's going on there. In terms of the schedule, we are in all the competitions. UEFA Super Cup against Man United, as you would expect after winning the Champions League. All the cups again. Can we go and complete the perfect 4 seasons in a row? What an achievement that would be with the old lady in Juventus. Another perfect season with Juventus and another perfect way to end a rebuild. We won every single competition. This time, though, we were pushed to our absolute limits in Serie A, only winning it by 5 points and 84 plus goal difference. Atalanta under Hansi Flick were a very strong side this season. We beat a decent Chelsea side 1-0 in the final. We won the Super Cup, the Italian Cup, and the Italian Super Cup again. So winning all the trophies available to us. We are just simply too overpowered. But this season we had a lot of ups and downs. We did start the season with another penalties win in a cup. A massive theme through this rebuild. Champions League, we started off very strong this season. It's the first time ever we've started off that well. A Super Cup win was obviously inevitable at this stage, and 2 very big wins in a row there. 2 8-0s against Young Boys and Samp was followed up by a disappointing defeat against Inter, but we put that to the sword in the quarterfinal when it mattered 5-0. This season was an ups and downs Servi season. We lost to teams like Roma, we lost to Atalanta, Udinese, a lot of defeats, but we ultimately end this rebuild with a great squad, a great side, and so many trophies. The squad to end this rebuild is absolutely class. The only player that we did bring in was Cher Undor. He's been absolutely cracked for us as well. I missed that one in the previous seasons. But the main man has been Vlahovic. He's the only non-Italian really that plays for us. If we had another season, we could have got rid of him. His contract was running out, so he would have gone on a free transfer in any case. But that squad, I have to say, the GOATs on this save for me have been 2 men. Wilfred Nonto, he has been an absolute baller. Looking at his history, he's got 15 goals in Serie A for the first time this season. But he's more than just a goal scorer. He's been an absolute top baller on and off the pitch for us. Scamacca came in and did very, very well for us for a few seasons. He was getting goals in the last season. He didn't really get the opportunity. He was mainly off the bench, 1 goal in 14, but got 18 goals in his debut season, 16 the following after. You can't ask for much more from a striker in Serie A. Simone Profundi was a big signing that changed the game, to be perfectly honest. He made us so much stronger. Assist-wise, he was becoming into his prime in this season. 15 assists, 9 goals. Can't argue with that with Simone Profundi. But in defense, Andrea Cambiaso. If you've never had Andrea Cambiaso, go and get him. He is so good. Honestly, the best baller I've had in this Juventus save. Pretty much played every game for us when he wasn't injured or suspended. Been an absolute baller. Look at those assists from left back or right back. This guy is absolutely top notch. Now we'll take a look at our manager profile and see how we did. We'll look at our history, our timeline, and see how many trophies we actually won. 21 major trophies with Juventus. We won most valuable coach so often as well. As you can see, all those Champions League, Super Cups, Italian Serie A's, and much more. We turned the old lady back into being the dominant side in Italy without foul by using mainly just Italian players. Apart from Vlahovic, even without Vlahovic, we would have won everything anyway. What a rebuild this has been. Let me know who you want me to do next in the comments below, and I will see you on the next video.